Welcome, hunters, to the Hunters Hub, episode 31. Today, Fortuan here, joined by SoHellkite. Is that how you say it?
Oh, is it? Yeah, SoHellkite, that's how you say it, yeah.
Okay. First of all, I wanted to have a big thank you to Wolfie Melon, who is providing our music now. It was very nice of her to do that. And we're going to continue shouting her out. Go watch her stuff. She's amazing.
Honestly, I've used some of her stuff in the past on my videos, and honestly, she's an angel. I've met her in person, and she's just as lovely as you see her on Twitter or anything else. She is just bubbly, lovely, very lively, and very loving. So you need to go check her stuff out. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, it was very nice of her. And I also want to thank the artist of our show, Jeremy Clark. He's the one who did our logo and stuff. I don't know where you can find him. He just told me his name, and that's it. So find a Jeremy Clark.
No links or anything? No links? Damn.
Nope. I tried to contact him about it, and I hadn't heard from him back. So
hopefully you get something back from him then.
Yeah. So today, SoHellkite and I are going to be talking about a few things. But first of all, we'd like to ask you a couple questions on this podcast. So first of all, your favorite weapon, which I'm going to guess is hammer?
Oh man, I love the blunt instrument. I love the caveman weapon. It's such a good weapon. It adds so much to a hunt. It does.
Yeah. I'm a ex-hammer bro.
Why are you an ex-hammer bro, man? Get back on that bandwagon.
Well, to be honest, I love the hammer, but I played it from Monster Hunter Freedom 2 to all the way through Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate, which is a lot of hours for me.
Yeah.
And then I got kind of tired of it because I felt it was too simple and I wanted to do something more involved. So I switched to Charge Blade in 4U. And
everyone's favorite weapon, but no, the Charge Blade is a good weapon.
And then in World, I switched from Charge Blade to Longsword because I like the generation style of Charge Blade. Don't hurt me.
No, I understand. The thing is that I'm terrible. The reason why I don't like using Charge Blade is because I'm really bad at using Charge Blades.
Oh, dude, guard pointing, like I love doing it, but it's like a hit and miss for me.
That's why I respect a lot of people. I always give it, Charge Blade's so rubbish. But actually, I'm there going, no, I just can't use it because there's so much micromanaging with the weapon. That's why I'm just like, give me something very blunt to hit something with. So that's why I always go for hammer. But longsword, good choice. Apart from the tripping up part, I hate when longsword users do that.
Yeah, it's why I focus on the tail and I just sort of fill in where people are. Unless it's my brother, then I like hitting him around.
Make his life hell.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He's an insect glaive user, so it doesn't really hit him a lot.
He just if he gets hit and it's his fault, he used to be in the skies.
And he needs to have his buffs up. It's like I'm his little reminder. You need your buffs, man. Need your buffs. So the next question is your top 3 monsters.
Okay, top 3 monsters. Oh, it's gonna be kind of hard because there's so many cool ones. I'll start from 3, then go to 1 afterwards. I'll go in that way. So third, I'm going to have to go for Fatalis. I absolutely love Fatalis. He's such a cool, evil, menacing elder dragon. And I remember when the first time I saw him, I was like, I can do this. He one-shot me. And I was like, okay, I'm not going to go melee against him. So and there's 3 variants of him as well. You got like normal, crimson, and the white Fatalis, all of their own unique themes, their own battle arena. And he's just an awesome monster.
Yes.
Second, I'm going to have to go for Kushala Daora. I love Kushala Daora. He's a phenomenal monster. I love him. But I remember fighting him in Freedom 2, just farming his armor and weapons and trying to get the Elder Blood so I can level up my ancient greatsword.
Got to bring that poison weapon, man.
Oh man, I didn't at the time. I didn't know what poison worked. I was playing on a PSP by myself. I had no friends to play with.
Right.
So it was basically Billy No Mates by myself. And Kushala's a great monster. I love there's like different variants from the normal one to a rusted Kushala, and they sound so different. And his music is so good.
It is. It's
I love
really
him.
Great.
And number 1, man, it's Rathalos. Rathalos is
nice. That's
best.
a first. We've never had someone say Rathalos.
Rathalos is he was my first wall. I remember I played literally the first Monster Hunter on the PSP. I encountered him. It was the typical, go get an egg. What's the worst that could happen? got an egg. Rathalos was there. I felt chills go up my spine. I was like, what?
Yeah.
And it's like one of the things that you're not strong enough, but you will be. So I remember getting to that point where I, took forever to grind all my gear up. I finally had this one-on-one fight, and it was such an epic fight. I've never been so accomplished in my life in a video game. And then, and he's been in every single title. I've kind of grew up with him in a way,
Yeah.
He was this really clunky, hitboxy, annoying wyvern to now the king of the skies, and he's just, I love him. There's nothing can beat Rathalos.
Wasn't he so skinny to begin with? You go back and
He was
look
like,
at those
he was
pictures.
like, it's like that. He looked really bad. So
Yeah.
The big jump up, because when I first started going, wow, he's really changed, was when Monster Hunter Try,
Yes.
Monster Hunter 3U.
That's where he got the big overhaul.
They overhauled the new animations. He was so like alive. I was like, oh, he's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love him. Rathalos, best monster.
How do you feel about Dread King, or have you fought it?
Dread King is hell. Honestly, Red King is just, the amount of fire that happens is ungodly. I remember first fighting him and it was just screams because I was not expecting everything. He was so hard when I first fought him.
Yeah.
I think it's of every monster, but like, he's just difficult because he hits very hard. The fire that goes everywhere. But he has the best, pretty much overall best set in the game, the Deviant does. It has everything you want. So
Right.
it's well worth the risk to get that set. It has everything from high grade earplug, attack up large, weakness exploit. It's everything you want in a set.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I didn't get to do a lot of Deviants and Generations. I lost my save 200 hours in.
Yeah, I saw your tweet about it. I was like, oh, that's rough.
Yeah. So I was like, screw it. I'm just going to move on to Monster Hunter Stories until Monster Hunter World comes out. Which I ended up putting down Stories as soon as I finished it. And I was just like, it's okay. Like,
Stories was alright. I kind of quit the game because I accidentally... the game didn't have an autosave feature. It was really dumb. And I was grinding for literally about 12 hours straight because I was working. Mm-hmm. And I dropped my DS and the cartridge fell out. And it lost the save. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to not play this game anymore.
I'm done. It was a sign from God.
12 hours that just gone down the drain. I was like, okay, no, bye.
Nice.
Okay. That's horrible.
So we have one question, a little bit more of a racy one, but it can be tame or not, depending on your disposition. But we like to ask you, which monster would you date?
Oh my God! Seriously?
Yeah, we did this to Wolfie too.
Oh, okay. Okay. It's caught me off guard, which I like. Ooh, I'm really thinking now. God.
If it helps, I'll tell you what I answered.
Yeah, please. Just I'm gonna keep thinking. I'm gonna brainstorm. Yeah.
So I always answer Egnactor, and the reason why is I want to be with the hottest one in the room, and it has that swagger. You cannot deny the Egnactor swagger.
The Egnactor swagger is pretty good. I'm gonna have to go with Brachydios.
Okay.
Because he knows he's a brawler. He'll look after you. He'll look after you, man. Mm-hmm. And he seems like he's he's scared of water, so you got to keep him away from some water.
So you got to protect him too.
I'm gonna protect him away from planet paddling pools and stuff. Okay. So it's kind of one of them little waifu sort of moments of like splashing water, sparkles. Bracky, I love Bracky, and he seems like a sweetheart. I'll go for Bracky any day.
Okay, cool, awesome.
What was that question?
We used to do user questions a long time ago.
Oh, so good.
And that was one of the user questions, and we sort of stuck with it. We'll be getting user questions eventually again. But
okay.
Oh man. So first thing I wanted to talk about kind of is where you're at currently in Monster Hunter. So for me, a lot of people hear my progress. I'm Monster Hunter World crown hunting. I've breached 520 hours. I've got 3 crowns left, guys. 3. I got
That's pretty good, man.
Large Kusha last night, and I got a large Nerg the night before. So,
oof. That's pretty good.
I'm excited, but I'm probably going to put down World after I get those crowns, at least for a little bit, because I have literally played every day since launch. I have not missed a day. So
No.
it's going to be, when I hit those crowns, I'm going to put it down probably for a couple weeks unless something cool comes out. Which, watch, something cool come out as soon as I finish it, and then I'll never
As soon as you put it down, tweet update, boom. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Better start playing again.
But I've also been playing Monster Hunter Generations again, rebuilding that save that I lost. And thanks to the Twitter poll, which I do believe you were part of.
I was, yes.
I am now playing Adept Greatsword.
It's a really cool... Adept Greatsword's so good.
It is. I'm learning it, and I'm glad I'm still in low rank learning it. I destroyed Kazoo with it, and then Gypsor has destroyed me. So, still learning. But
it's a good choice to go for. Like, that's what's so good about the low things, so you can get the timing just right and stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. So, where are you at in the games right now? Which ones are you playing?
I'm like with everyone else in Monster Hunter World. Like, I've done a lot in Monster Hunter Worlds. Like, I played it literally so many hours I put into that game.
Right.
And what was I doing? I think I was gem hunting. I was trying to get as much deviance as I possibly could tempered.
Yeah.
To try and get some decent gems and decent shards. And of course, lo and behold, they never drop. So it's a constant battle of trying to get the gems.
It's the desire sensor.
It's a desire sensor, man, definitely. And trying to get that, trying to make that perfect, hammer set. I'm trying to go for like everything in there: hard hitting, slugger, evade, that sort of thing. It's a really good hammer set I'm trying to go for.
Okay.
But I've kind of like taking a break. I go back to it every now and again. I've got some friends on, play it together. But no, I'm playing some Generations at the minute. I'm slowly getting the grind up again. I've put like nearly 500 hours into Generations, which is dumb.
Yeah, and that's a lot.
I'm trying to get a lot. I'm trying to get the grind on again, level up my deviants, get all the sets I need to do as well. And I played it the other day, and honestly, the difference between Generations as well is staggering.
Oh, it is.
Like, there's positives and negatives to both titles. That Generations has some really good stuff, while World doesn't. But World has a really smoother, polished combat system, while Generations is still quite clunky.
I think Gaijin Hunter put it really well. Where Monster Hunter World fails, Generations and Double Cross sort of pick up, and where they fail, Monster Hunter World picks up.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with that completely.
It was a good tweet. I was like, I mean, you're amazing. That was awesome.
No, I agree with that completely. Like, what I kind of miss in Monster Hunter is the themes that certain monsters have. I don't hear that in World.
They're muted. They're so much quieter. I was mentioning this to Wolfie actually when we talked about music on her episode, and the Teostra, it's got a great theme. They've changed it up a bit. It's really cool. You can't hear it that well, and
no, you can't.
It's the theme itself is a little taken down from the blaring horns that used to be. So, me, it's an ex trumpet player. I love horns, and I love hearing that sort of like blaring horn music, and it wasn't there, and I was like, oh man.
Yeah, I mean, when I played it previously, I did like some content with a friend, and we listened to the Bracky theme. And I was like, this is so good. Where's the themes and worlds? And the only ones you can really hear is Basil Geese and Devil Joe and some of the Elder Dragon, but it's very, very quiet. And I've noticed as well, I was kind of disappointed with World, actually.
Yeah.
Proof of the Hero, one of the most iconic musics for Monster Hunter, is so flat in World, I've noticed. Maybe that's just me saying that, but like Generations, like old Monster Hunter Generations stuff, the Proof of the Hero sounds phenomenal and godly.
Yeah.
But in World, it seems like they're trying to go for, that song Driven by the Stars, an amazing piece, don't get me wrong, but it seems like trying to go for that's like, oh, this is now the main song for Monster Hunter. Yeah. Proof of the Hero, that's in the past, man. That's what it seems anyway.
Yeah, it's unfortunate because I don't think we're ever going to get rid of Proof of a Hero.
Proof of the Hero is one of the songs that makes me go, Urgh! I love it. I mean, like, it's such a badass theme. I remember fighting, like, again, back in the previous title, I'm fighting Lara Shan, and came to the wall. You hit the spikes, he gets impaled, then Proof of the Hero starts, and
I love that's when it happens too.
When you get the stupid chills in the back, and then you need to get like motivated, and all of your friends are all around you. And I was playing with like a group of 4 friends, all of a sudden like, yeah, just jumped in with the music. Oh, the music. Prove the Hero cannot be beaten, in my opinion. It's probably the best music. It's the best theme for Monster Hunter.
Nice. So I did forget one question for you.
Okay.
Where did you? So I picked this up from what you were saying earlier. You got started on Monster Hunter Freedom, you said?
Monster Hunter Freedom, yeah, on the PSP.
Cool. Years
ago.
Yeah. No, it's I would say Freedom is my least played Monster Hunter. I started on the PS2, the original Monster Hunter on PS2, and I played that for over 2,000 hours.
Whoa.
And then
That's
Freedom
impressive.
came out, and it felt like the same, aside from I got to the Yi and Garuga, and I sort of quit. I didn't really know what else was in there. Eventually, all those monsters came up again in Freedom 2, which I did play a lot more. But yeah, so Freedom was a great pickup. So what caused you to pick up Freedom when you first did?
It was actually a really interesting kind of little story because, like, I remember I talked to someone ages ago about this. Like, I heard about Monster Hunter from when I was a kid on the bus, like, you know, full of youth, full of like dreams and stuff on a bus, jiggling away going to school.
Yeah.
And I had these guys in front of me. Oh, I fought a big monster and he's big and red, and he shot me for 5 and killed me. It was awesome. I was using a big gun. I was thinking, oh, that sounds really cool. And I was thinking, I'm assuming now he's using like a heavy bowgun fighting against Rathalos or something.
Right.
And I was friends with this guy. I was like, oh, can I buy that game you got? He goes, oh, sorry, no, I've lost it. I've sold it. I was like, bugger. I couldn't think of the name at all.
Mm-hmm.
So years and years and years and years passed after that. This for the PS2 that was. And then I was around my friend's house, and I was bored. So bored. You know when you want to go in your friend's house and you have like a 4 or 5 day sleepover where, like, you know, I'm just sitting there bored out of my mind going, oh, he was on the computer, I'm burnt out. I'll go for his PSP station. Let's be fair, there wasn't that many great PSP games. There was really hardly any good PSP games. And then flipped across, Monster Hunter Freedom. I was like, what's this game? My friend was like, oh, you can play it. It's not very good. It's very hard. And I was like, hard, you say? Boot it up, played it, got absolutely destroyed by Velocidrome and Velociprey. And I was like, okay, I'm not playing this game. And then I stopped playing it for like a week. But I still took it home with me. And then after that, I had the itch to go back. And I was like, I wonder if I can beat it. And then I beat it. And I was like, ooh, that was a good feeling. What other monsters are in this game? Now jumping, now I'm 27 years old and I've played thousands and thousands of hours of Monster Hunter. It's stuck. It's such a good game. Honestly, that feeling of like, I think that's what Monster Hunter does really well. It has that sense of reward when you kill a monster. You know, that kind of fist pump in the air, and you feel so good that you hit this wall. And there was no other game like this. That's what was so unique about it. I was all into fantasy, killing giant monsters and stuff. But I can never find a game like that. Never until Monster Hunter.
You can always tell a great game from these many clones as it spawns.
Exactly. Monster Hunter is the stepping stone to make all these great sort of like hunting genre games now.
Yeah. It was a unique thing, and the story of it, how it came to be in general, is always so cool. And I don't know if do you know why it was made or not? I've talked
Monster
about
Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh god, I think I knew about it, but just explain anyway, because you can do that. You know,
I'll do the short version because I say this about every episode. But
hit that light bulb, wake me up.
So, Capcom was like, "Hey, people are starting to play video games online. How do we do this?" 3 projects came across that desk that went out. One was a racing game, so obvious of how that becomes online. You race against other people. Resident Evil Outbreak was the second one, which survived for 2 games. Decent game, but it didn't do well, I think. It wasn't like, oh, this isn't really Resident Evil. Where's the blah, blah, blah. Whatever. Monster Hunter. Monster Hunter was the one success it was a big success that came across that desk. So this is how you play games online. So that's sort of like the quick version of how it came to be. And it's been amazing since. It's so cool that it was just sort of like it was a solution to a problem that was like way over the top. You know what I mean?
No, Capcom really had. Well, Monster Hunter is the game that's literally been keeping Capcom afloat, I would say, for years. Because it's huge in Japan. Massive.
Yep.
And I said to my wife was like, "Oh, I want to go to Japan and sightsee." I want to go to Japan and go to Monster Hunter World. She looked at me like, "What?"
Yeah, no. My
So-
wife is very well aware of how popular it is in Japan because I continually bash it into her head. But
Yeah, my wife's sick of me about Monster Hunter now. I was like, she's sick of it. It's like, God damn it, Rob.
yeah, so my wife, she gets oops, something fell there. But she doesn't get really annoyed with me. What she does, she likes to play games together, and I put that in quotations. More like her playing on her cell phone while I play. But she gets mad if I do it without her.
Okay.
And she got that way a little bit about Monster Hunter World. And I was like, "Hun, I run a podcast. I can't just wait for you to play like once a week. Like I can't do that. I would gladly show you the monsters you missed and that kind of stuff." And she's become disinterested and she doesn't care anymore. So
Yeah. I think because of that, my wife's fed up with it because I have so much like little figurines all over the place.
I have only a few.
I have on my desk. I have like a big silver raffle off of a Nergigante figure, and some lovely little things that Capcom sent me. What was really sweet of them, they sent me like a little plushie and a cup, and yeah, it's really sweet of them. Good old Sock. Shout out to Socks and Drake Hunter when he was community manager. Love them guys.
Yeah, I have not really benefited from Capcom at all. We're new enough, I guess, or whatever. Sometimes people don't know about
you have Yuri. He's the American guy. He is freaking awesome. I mean, all the community managers what I've seen so far: Socks, Yuri, and Peach. I think it's Steffi Peach. She's a German community manager.
Yes.
And there's a French guy. I can't pronounce his name, but all of them are just so freaking awesome. I love them guys.
I have reached out to Yuri, but with no response yet. So
Yuri's they're a busy guy. I mean, I've messaged Socks, and he is like blanked, but like when I meet him in person, he's the most bubbly, most loving person you'll ever meet. He's fantastic.
You guys make me jealous. I kind of want to go to Europe now. I just wanted to.
Socks is a giant. So when you meet him, he's like kind of the green giant. Like he's huge. Like he towered over me. I was like, oh boy. But he's a lovable green giant. He's very, very like handshakey, fist bumpy sort of guy. But trying to get hold of him on Twitter is impossible because he's just so busy.
Yeah. No, I figured. So let's transition to our first topic, and it might be a short one, it might be a long one. I don't know how this will go. But I want to talk about the Monster Hunter movie. You had a rant. You had a rant on this, and I was like, "Oh, we got it. We got a dish on this." So this came out in 2016 is when this was first announced, and they showed the concepts for it, and I immediately went on like a Facebook crusade to like, let's take this down. Let's just not. And I know that I am not normally sort of like a let's not do this, let's burn this kind of thing. As my audience knows, I'm a pretty laid back person when it comes to stuff. I'm like, nah, it's okay. This one got me fired up because it doesn't come up a lot, but I'm a big movie person also. And I used to do movie reviews actually.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
I mean, it was for my company, right? But it was like a company newsletter, but I did get sort of paid for it.
It's still pretty cool, man. Just review things and get paid for it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was just part of the job, really. It wasn't like I was never recognized as a movie critic, which is fine. I'm not. I'm more of a, when it talks to, I'm more like a talking kind of person. That's why I have a podcast. So,
yeah.
The movie, one of the movies I did see though was one of the I don't remember which one it was. I know it was not the first one, but it was one of the Resident Evil movies, and I was like, this is just garbage. Like the first one was okay. Like I was like, this is deviating a lot from the source material, so I'm kind of weary about it. But then they announced another and another and another. What are they on, like 8 now? Of these?
I don't know. I watched the first one. I watched a bit of the second one, and then after that, I just got really kind of like, ugh. There's another one coming out. Oh, there's another one coming out. He threw them out so quickly.
Yeah. So this director and his wife who's the star, have been doing these Resident Evil movies forever, and they do well. And I don't know why, but because they are terrible. But then again, a lot of terrible movies.
Are you quoting when you said "well"? Like "well," quote quote. Dude, have you seen the have you seen the reviews for these films?
I mean, on numbers.
I don't know how
like
they
tickets
sell. I don't know
sold,
how they sell. Why do they sell?
I can't answer that for you.
Does he buy the tickets himself?
So a little bit of a plug for another podcast. If you guys ever listen to the Sincast, Cinema Sins, those guys, they're really good at expressing like, these movies suck. Why do they sell? That's a common theme, right? Funny story. It actually helped inspire me making this podcast. I've reached out to them a couple times about it, and they've always been like, "That's awesome, man." But yeah,
inspiration sort of thing, comes from the smallest places, and it's really cool seeing that, like, you get inspired by someone else, and then you can eventually do content with that person. It's really like, yeah, that's really cool.
I hope to one day, but we have very little crossover on what we talk about. Like, I might be able to talk about movies once in a while, but I am a nobody when it comes to movies.
Like, I don't like this movie because this, and these guys, I don't like this movie because A, B, Z.
Yeah.
These guys, they seem very in depth.
Yeah.
But yeah, Monster the movie, wow, I don't know where to begin. I already ranted about this, and I was so mad about it because it disappeared for ages, as you just said, and it reoccurred. And Paul Anderson said, I have $60 million, and we are going to shoot in Africa, and my wife's going to be probably the main protagonist. And they had the little 7-second clip, and it looked... The CGI was good, not going to lie, the CGI looked pretty good. But I want to make some points about it. One, why the hell are they in a shopping mall? Why are they in our world?
Right.
Like,
yeah. No, that's...
I don't understand. That doesn't make sense. And then, two, the Gormagala has eyes. He doesn't have eyes. He has very, very poor vision. Mm-hmm. And he only really flares up with his eyes when he gets angry, when his feelers pop out on his head.
Yep.
And Raphalos did the squat roar like a Tiger X.
Yes.
He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that at all. And then the plot, I read the plot as well. The plot doesn't make sense. It's like, oh, this person, like, I mean, and I'm talking like sort of like the Matrix sort of plot, like, as I said, like, the main character has a dead-end job. He's got nothing going for him. Then he finds out he's a hero of a descendant hero, and he must go back to the magical world of Monster Hunter to train to be a monster hunter, then go back to our world to slay the monster. And it's like, this sounds so wrong in so many levels. Like, no.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, what did you think about the premise? But you kind of answered it right there.
It's so horrible. Dumb. Like, number one, right, there's no magic in Monster Hunter. As far as I know, you don't see guys walking around with staves or magicians or anything like that, casting things. And, like, there's a scene you see in the back with a Raphalos coming out of a portal. And the Raphalos is, like, the size of, like, half a skyscraper or something. He's massive.
It's a double gold crown, don't you know?
It's a triple platinum crown Raphalos. It's like, Jesus Christ. And then again, there's no magic in Monster Hunter. So why is there portals? I'm not sure what happened with the lore, because the lore is very finicky with Monster Hunter, like the ancient civilization. But I don't think they had magic. They just experimented on monsters, which was quite creepy. But you can't train to be a hunter. You're born a hunter, because they even said hunters have like this sort of superhuman strength. Right. As you see in games, this is why they can wield giant weapons. They can jump from great heights. They can take a brunt force. It's because they're like superhumans. I've read like a lore thing about it where they're extra better than humans. They're humans, but better, like so much better. They're not normal. They're not frail. They're not frail humans. You can't train to be that. You really can't. Mm-hmm. The whole and going to the world of magical monster hunting. It's like that's what we get away from reality because we like fantasy. Why put fantasy in reality? It doesn't really make sense. Like, I want a Raphalos over New York City, and it's like you're showing these two monsters. The only thing I'm hoping with Paul Anderson, as much as I dislike the man, hopefully, I like being proven wrong. I like going, you know what, you proved me wrong. Good job. I hope that he took a long break and he did his research on Monster Hunter. Did long research, like played Monster Hunter World, most likely because it's really, really popular now. Maybe he read into the wiki about the areas and stuff. Like maybe we shouldn't put it in the real world. But this is Paul Anderson we are talking about. He doesn't really listen to reason. He listens to what his strange mind listens to. I don't know. Again, I like to be proven wrong, but it is Paul Anderson, so I do think we're going to get that movie. I'm going to go watch it, most likely. I'll probably walk out halfway. I'm not sure. So
I'm going to watch it.
Wait and see.
I'm going to watch the whole thing. And I'll say this. A lot of people crap on the Doom movie. I actually like the Doom movie.
The only bit I liked in the Doom movie was when the guy went superhuman.
Yeah, when the first person part is pretty cool. I love
the first person part.
I like the character Goat. His name was Goat.
But I don't understand the whole infection thing.
I don't.
That was really dumb. It was like,
It
was clearly that monster who infected him was an imp who threw fireballs. Where are the fireballs?
No, you're totally right. That kind of explain it, but it's not a good explanation. It's not worth repeating.
This is not a Doom podcast. This is a Monster Hunter podcast.
Well, hey, I do mention Doom is my third favorite series, so.
Man, I can't wait for the new one because they left up for a cliffhanger.
Yes, I'm excited.
Oh, the ending was so good, man. I'm sorry, I'm gonna dive on just a little how fanboy I got. I'm gonna mention the last boss. If anyone's spoiled, I don't care. When you know when we're fighting the big goat guy, and I was like, man, I would really want to see one of the cyborg spiders. I really want to see that, but I really enjoyed the game. Last bog, cyborg spider. I was like, oh,
yeah,
killed the boss, and she's twitching away. You walk up to her, pick up her mouth, shove the BFG in her mouth, and pull the trigger. I was like, I loved it. I went mad when that happened. I was like, yes, Doom guy. Yeah. Doom guy's a beast. I love him.
He is. Oh. I love it. It was my favorite game in 2016.
It was probably mine. Yeah, I loved it.
Despite Generations coming out that year.
Oh no, Doom was so good. I played it like 3 times. It's so good.
Yeah, and one of my platinums. Hopefully, Monster Hunter World's my next platinum.
I'm nowhere near platinum. I'm too like I have to do this, and this, and then I kind of lose track and stuff.
I only have the crowns left. That's it.
I wish you luck.
So, I was gonna say for the movie, I think I'm gonna watch it regardless, just so I can come back and I can rant about it. But I see. Like you said, maybe if it was set back in the actual world, but this kind of does play on my childhood fantasies of Monster Hunter, because I remember being stuck in traffic with my dad and just imagining a Blanganga just coming across the traffic and just flipping cars.
Oh, Jesus.
And I was just like, it would be so cool.
But then I made a point, like, again, I don't think it will work. Like, Monster Hunter in the real world.
Oh, no, it wouldn't.
It seems out of place. I mean, imagining, people make some really cool skits of like, I've seen this clip of these Japanese guys putting a devil jar in real life and they're using like guns and stuff. It was a really cool video. I'd recommend you probably watch that. But like, here's a quick plot. I literally thought up in the rant video I did. Literally, it's very cliche, but it would fit in the premise of Monster Hunter. The main protagonist is either a kid or a teenager in a village, right? One of the little villages, yeah? Yeah. And it's in the future, like, it's not like, back in old civilization. It's kind of like Kyoto Village or like maybe the Snowy Mountain Village from Freedom 2.
Poke.
Yeah, very simple. Poke Village, yeah, I'm already done with names. Poke Village. And it gets attacked. It gets attacked by an elder dragon, like maybe a Kushala or maybe a Rathalos comes over and just literally completely levels it. And, of course, killing everyone, just putting that bar. And you're the only survivor. You probably square up to it or you run away, whatever. And then you get picked up by a band of hunters. And then it's kind of like a progression story. Like you can see like a progression going on. Like your character, he's building up to be this really badass hunter. And then, he meets friends, bonds are created, maybe some love interest, I don't know. And he maybe can go to like classic, like old cities, like, old towns in Monster Hunter. Would be really cool to see some really old ones or like some classic ones. And then, he gets the quest to go kill this rampaging monster, and then he can have this really cool one-on-one fight, or maybe him and his friends take on this monster. It's very cliche, but that could work.
So, a little bit of a window into Fortuan again. I actually wrote a fanfic back in 2010. I never told anyone about this. It never left my computer. Where that happened, right? There's a little boy and a little girl. I think I said they were 8 and 10. Their village isn't big enough to be protected by the guild. So they have to sort of fend for themselves, right?
Lowly hunters around the area, most likely. Okay.
Yeah, it fails. And a Rathian actually levels everything. because she decides to take up a nest in that forest.
So they're in the territory. So
yeah,
gotta take away the threat.
Yep. So the story, and I'll make it brief, ends up with the boy and the girl running away, and they end up finding themselves in one of the big cities eventually. But there's a good portion of the journey of them fending for themselves against a pack of velociprey and a velociraptor hunting them along the way. So the girl and the boy, they're sort of growing up, and then it becomes sort of like a human story in that city. You're not really seeing a lot of the monsters as they're growing up. But the boy, and they're hunters, right? They're those super hunters, but they're too young to hunt. So they both take on training. One of them goes with like a field scout team, and the other one decides to sign up as one of the guild hunters. So like the one guy, the boy is out in the field doing the hunts and that kind of stuff, and she's becoming like one of the high guild. Like the guys have lances that come in and save the day.
Guild knights.
Yeah. So she's learning sort of like the ways of the guild, and he's not happy with the way of the guild because it's kind of cliche, but basically the younger one is the more angry one, right? Because he doesn't know how to process his emotions that young, and it only comes out as anger. So he decides to split from the guild, and there's this sort of hero anti-hero sort of thing between the sister and the brother, and eventually it ends up, and I haven't written the whole thing out, but eventually it ends up with the brother sort of breaking away from the guild and just going on Rathian killing sprees. And of course,
which is very, very against guild sort of things,
right? Which is monsters. Bad, very bad.
Yeah, very bad. Yeah.
Because a lot of the themes in Monster Hunter is balance with nature, right?
Yeah,
it's why they're there.
The Wyverians always remind people like we should never go back to. We must have a balance. If things get too overpopulated, we need to balance it. We can't, do what we did last time. And what he's doing is bad. Yeah,
so he's out to just murder monsters now. He's not carving them. He doesn't need it. He's just out. So he's basically being like what we would see as this when you're not taking the context of the game of how it really is. You're just like, oh yeah, I farmed 700 of this, right? He's sort of like, that was my mentality of like, this is the kind of person that thinks of the way this game is. And then there's the guild person who understands that when you take a quest in the game, in the lore context, you've only ever done it once, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You haven't killed 7,000 of whatever monster, technically, according to the lore. You just did that one quest. The game mechanic is that you can replay that scenario. That's it.
Yeah, replay the scenario over and over and over again, do the same quest.
They kind of...
I get what you mean.
Yeah, so that was sort of like my little idea, and I'm kind of happy that like you were like, oh yeah, they leveled the village. It's like, yeah, that's kind of what I did.
It's kind of similar. Like that was literally off the bat. I wasn't going into like massive detail, but you had some good little homework then, like a nice good detail. Like, nah, your one's pretty good. I like yours a lot more than mine. So clap to that. I love it. Yeah, good little fanfic.
I don't mean to one up you or anything. It was
no.
Literally something.
Literally, mine was literally off the top of my head. I was like this cliche, yeah, but it's really cool. But your one's like, but how about this? But it's blah, 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 but it's like, yours is better. Yeah, it's cliche. I like it.
Yeah, well, I mean, cliches work sometimes, right?
Yeah, cliches do work, especially in Monster Hunter. It'd be really cool to see some CGI fighting.
Yeah.
Like fighting some monsters and stuff and seeing the designs of what they're going to look like in quote-unquote real life and stuff and seeing the beautiful areas of like what the Monster Hunter world is.
Yeah.
Cliche, but you want to see the environment and the world of Monster Hunter. That's why I'm so drawn to the game, because the environment's so pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I would almost accept sort of like an Avatar kind of concept where we sort of land there in our current day technology and have to learn like what it's like there versus them coming to us. That's
exactly, yeah.
So that was a lot about the movie and other things, but so I wanted to talk to you. You seem to play a lot of Dauntless, and I'm very much a person who sticks to the original of a lot of things. So we talked about games that make clones, right? It doesn't mean that the clones themselves are bad. For instance, Doom kind of spawned the first-person shooter genre. It didn't really spawn it. It was already there, but it popularized it. And there was games such as Doom clones. So Monster Hunter has sort of created a lot of Monster Hunter clones to to not really discount those games, I know that God Eater is a really well liked series, and Toukiden is also really well liked. But we haven't really seen that come out outside of Japan so much until Dauntless. And Dauntless was going to be the first real PC experience until they dropped World. But so
yeah, kind of slap in the face there.
So what do you feel about Dauntless? Personally, I'm more of a person that's like I also played Dungeons and Dragons, but Pathfinder came out that was sort of offshoot, and I was like, I can't play Pathfinder. That's cheating. It's or whatever. And eventually I played Pathfinder, but
I got there anyway. Shut up, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I was forced to by my players. Like, they all voted for that, and I was like, okay, fine. But
boy,
I'm sort of moving away from that. I don't know. I feel like it was an elitist mentality of like I only play the original series. So like I'm going to be trying Dauntless. So I want to hear your opinions on it.
Right? Yeah. Again, Monster. I just said said it perfectly. What I was going to say when you can talk about Dauntless is like. Monster Hunter's created like the hunting genre of game, not like, where you get a gun and shoot deer or something. Like, the hunting genre where you go out, kill something big, and you skin it. Like God Eater, played God Eater, loved the game. Toukiden, loved the game. Dauntless, it's very interesting, and when it first got announced, I loved it. I loved the idea of it. It's a Western hunting game, and the Phoenix Labs, the guys who made it, are like, yeah, this game, we are inspired by Monster Hunter. So they're a really cool bunch of people down at Phoenix Lab. Then, of course, Monster Hunter World happened, and everyone was like, "Oh, what's that Dauntless game? What's that game?" But
yeah,
I did remember playing in very, very early access, and the game, it wasn't good. But end of the day, you can't really slam a game for early access. You really can't. Well, apart from DayZ, everyone knows what happened to DayZ.
Yeah.
But the game's really polished now. It's now at the stage of being in open beta, which is going to happen on the 26th of May, I believe.
25th.
25th now, okay, I keep changing them. So 24th, now 25th, okay. But the game's really good. I love the concept of the game, and the kind of story kind of works like this. You are a slayer, and basically these massive behemoths have come out of nowhere and are basically destroying the world by sapping the world's life, known as ether. And it's basically what ether is, kind of like these pools of energy that keep the world afloat. And they sup up all the energy. And these guys, these behemoths are savage. There's like, when you read stories, they have like little stories about the behemoths, and they kill people. They slaughter people, and it's like, Jesus, this is quite dark. So essentially, you have to go out and slay these behemoths, or they will literally destroy the world because they keep on sapping up all the energy and stuff like that. But it's really cool because like you're in a city called Ramsgate, and it's like the last bastion of like this for the slayers and for the humans. And you take these massive sort of like airships to these things called the Shattering Isles. There's these floating islands, and it's like just stuck in motion, and they land on top of them, and then the behemoths are on these Shattering Isles, and you go out and you go slaughter them. It's really cool. I'm getting, I've had a few comments playing the game saying it's a rip-off, that sort of thing. I wouldn't say it's a rip-off. It's a rip-off game if you want to look at it on YouTube. It's called Hunter Blade. Them guys got a very, very quick cease and desist letter by Capcom, because that game literally is copy and paste. So you can't really say, Dauntless, God Eater, or they're clones and they're copying Monster Hunter, or they're gonna get sued, which I've got comments for. They're gonna get sued by Capcom. It's like they're not, guys. The designs look nothing like the monsters at all. I played the first Monster Hunter, so I've been really looking for similarities in the game. I really have. Like, I wanted to see where they got like the inspiration from, and the weapons have a lot of similarities. Like the axe, for instance, in Dauntless, is a heavy weapon. It kind of reminds me of the hammer, greatsword, and longsword, all in one weapon in a way, for the mechanic-wise. Like, it has the charge-up ability, but you can move with it. And you can move with the weapon when you do a certain move, but then it can level up 3 times. Because 1, 2, 3, like greatsword swings, a woof, and you smack them.
Okay.
And at the top left corner of the bar, when you use your axe, it builds up a bar, just like the longsword. And once it fills up, you can have a heavy attack, what can smash down, and then your axe then has a giant buff on it. Like, it basically gets an extra, you basically can hit harder now, and it can level up to 3 times.
Wow.
And the axe is a fantastic weapon. That's probably my favourite weapon. It's a very high risk, high reward sort of weapon. Like, if you level up 1, 2, 3, if you turn it just perfectly, you have like a yellow bubble that will block the hits. It's So the monster behemoth, because there's no blocking in the game. You can't block in Dauntless.
Okay.
So there's a lot of dodging. So stamina's really important in the game. So, and then you have that weapon, the axe. And then you have the sword. So it's literally just called a sword. But it's a really, really cool sword because essentially all these weapons are charged by ether in the base of the world's energy.
Oh, okay.
And the sword's very quick, very agile. You can dip and dive out it, but it's some heavy attacks, some quick combos. But when you put it again, it's got like a bar at the top left, but it's really unique in that sort of sense where what you can basically throw what element out of the sword at the monster. Like for instance, there's the monster called the Embermane, kind of like a massive tiger with a rhino horn, and his element's fire. So essentially, you can just throw a huge fireball at the monster, which is really cool. And then you have the chain blades, very quick, very long weapons, but they're very quick weapons. They're very cool. I'm not really played with them much. Not really a fan of them. Okay. Then you have the hammer. Where the hammer is essentially
the gun hammer.
It's a gun hammer. Yeah,
yeah.
It's really cool. You can jump in the air. You can charge up your attack. You can use your vial, what usually is a bullet, to charge up to it, hit even harder, reload, and it's a really fantastic weapon. Then you have the last one, which is called the war pike. Essentially, it's a giant, it's a spear, and you stab really quickly, and then you build up a bar again, and you can move away and just shoot a giant energy at them. The game's very unique, and it's very punishing.
Okay.
Like, the game is hard. Like, if you mess up, you get punished for it. These behemoths, they
will kill you.
They will kill you. There's a lot of grinding in the game. So like, you got to level up your gear properly, and if you don't, the first time you fight a monster is going to be very difficult. Okay. Like for instance, there's a monster before called the Pangar, and all these monsters have some sort of a mechanic to them now. As I've hit the stage now where mechanics are needed. Like the Pangar is a giant sort of like lumbering monster that rolls towards you, kind of like an Uragan in a way.
Okay.
Crush you with a giant tail. And he's an ice monster. And on the base of his tail, there's kind of like rivets of scales, yeah?
Okay.
And if you don't break the ice off, he turns into a completely different sort of monster.
Oh.
It kind of like a battery life. It's kind of like a battery life in a way.
Okay.
Like, it kind of boop, 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 and you kind of builds up down his tail, and he can break off the ice. But if you don't break it off, he kind of like extends. His whole body becomes encased in ice, and he just looks vicious. Yeah, and he's not even the hardest one, that's the thing. Yeah. But no, I don't agree with what people are saying it's a copy, it's a clone. All these monsters are copy of a monster. I don't agree with it at all. I think they got a lot of inspiration from Dungeons and Dragons, I think, actually, as well.
Awesome.
Like, my favorite monster in Dauntless is called Shrike, big bear owl. But in in Dungeons and Dragons, there's a monster called the owlbear, isn't there?
Yes, the owlbear.
They look very similar. Basically. So, they've probably got similarities from Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm thinking, but I don't agree with them. And it's a very good game, and it's free to play, so it's always worth to actually give it a shot. It's very clunky, like it's very slow paced, people say, which is understandable, but it does pick up very quickly. You got to be quick on your toes.
That sounds amazing. I am a huge D&D fan.
I ranted on about that for a while. I do apologize.
No, that's totally fine. I said I wanted your opinion. You gave me your opinion. That's great. So like I said, I love D&D. I've talked about it on the show quite a bit too. I write articles for D&D for a Reddit site where I write ecologies of different D&D monsters. I just did the Bronze Dragon, so maybe one day I'll do the owlbear. I haven't had the inspiration.
I played D&D once and I loved it. It was such a great game. Because I remember playing it in school and it's like, you're a nerd, you can't play that game. I was like, oh yeah, I'm a nerd, I won't play it then. But when I'm a grown up, it's like, you know what, screw you guys. I'm going to play Dungeons and Dragons. So I played with my friends and it was fun. I loved it. Yeah. And I listened to a lot of Critical Role as well. They're a bunch of amazing guys.
I've been playing since I was in 8th grade. So
nice.
And most of the time I've been a DM since I've been in 8th grade. Since I'm sort of like the progenitor of D&D to a lot of my friends. I'm the one that introduces it. But I mean, all that aside, I do want to emphasize that when I say a clone of a game, I know you were talking about that a lot, and you probably weren't talking about how I used it, but that was sort of the term used at the time for Doom and Halo and that kind of stuff. Is I know what you mean. Yeah, this clone, and it was just sort of a way to say, like how we say nowadays, the term has sort of evolved to be like we'd say like what is it, blood souls, like other blood souls,
Deck Souls.
Yeah, there's basically terms now to say it's like this game. There's sort of a basis of familiarity that you work with.
Oh yeah. It's like a Monster Hunter game.
That's what a Doom clone used to mean in that kind of sense. So I don't think that Dauntless is ever going to be really a clone. It's already got its own story and lore. It's already more upfront about it, it sounds like.
But you can see the roots where it came from. Like I said, the Phoenix Live guys did say we are inspired by Monster Hunter. We love Monster Hunter, so I can see where they got the inspiration
totally
from. Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
The articles I write are entirely about existing Dungeons and Dragons monsters. I mean, I make them my own in a way, but like they're still a bronze dragon in D&D, right? It's okay to be inspired by something. And I hope that people, give some other games a chance. I mean, I love Monster Hunter. I'm going to promote Monster Hunter till the day I die, probably. But there are other games outside of Monster Hunter, which
definitely, yeah.
It's okay to try other games, even like Monster Hunter. So, listeners here may know that I actually just released another show where my co-host Toaster and I go into one game a month, and maybe Dauntless will be on that list. I don't know, but I will definitely be playing it outside of my shows for sure. I want to try it out. So
I'll take you along with me, and we can experience hell together.
Yeah, assuming we can get the time to play together, because you are 5 hours ahead. I'm assuming that you guys are in England, right?
Yeah, man. UK.
Okay. I was just guessing.
God save the Queen. All that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I'm in the U.S. obviously, but Ohio actually. So there's
I don't tend to sleep a lot, so basically, yeah, we can definitely get some games in, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I stay up late too, but like that might be a little late for you because on the weekends I'm getting old now. I'm falling asleep by midnight, but I used to stay up till like 3 playing Monster Hunter. Actually, that's how I got the 520 hours in. Is I would stay up till 3 playing. It also helped that I was unemployed for the good first half of it being out so far. So
that helps.
Yeah. But hey, I'm employed now, so I can't do that. So
you gotta be a grown up girl, and I
hands on hips, pouting. Yep.
Perfect.
So I'm excited to just try out all the weapons. I'm a very one weapon guy. So like I said, I was a hammer bro for so long because I didn't play any other weapons. I mean, I dabbled, right? And then when I played Charge Blade, it was funny. I started this podcast when before Monster Hunter World came out. I started doing podcast, I should say. This one I've rebranded once, so technically I started this. No, it was still before Monster World. It was like November where we rebranded. But a lot of people sort of got on me like, what, you've never tried this? I was like, no dude, I play one weapon. Like I don't care to learn another weapon. I'm playing the way I like to play. I find a way that I like and I stick with it. So
yeah.
It's not that I don't try other things. It's just that like I don't feel. It's weird because like I play other games. Like let's say for instance, sometimes I play Call of Duty. I play every weapon in Call of Duty. I switch weapons between maps, even. Like I'm just like I'm gonna play this one. I want to level up all the guns. So like Monster Hunter, I don't know what it is. I identify with a weapon, I stick with it. So I'm sort of excited to sort of try them out and see what is my style. It's sounding like it'll probably be the axe.
The axe is a great weapon. The axe is, I use it all the time. It's phenomenal.
But the pike might be one.
Yeah, very, very all unique looking weapons. They feel very different from all. They don't feel like they're clones of another weapon. Oh, the hammer is just like the axe, but it does this. But no, they act very differently with animations and stuff, and they play very differently.
Yeah,
they're very cool.
So, have you ever seen the movie 300?
I have seen the movie 300. Yes.
So, spear and shield. Awesome.
Spirit. Yeah, I talked to some of the community managers, and they have said there are more weapons coming to the game. It's just what, you know.
Oh, so the pike is just a two-handed spear then?
It's two-handed
Okay.
spear, kind of like insect glaive. There you go.
Okay. Well, I mean, honestly, that's always been my favorite kind of thing, but there's no such thing in Monster Hunter that is a spear and shield.
It's a lance and shield.
Right. Yeah, and lance and spear are entirely different things.
Yes, they are.
So I would love to see it. Every time I play a barbarian in D&D, he uses javelins.
Oof. So you can stab and throw.
Yeah, actually, a funny story. I know you don't play D&D too much, but my parents actually play. And we do, like, every couple months, we get together, my parents and all of their old high school buddies, and they've been inviting us kids. So we've done 2 sessions so far, and I'm going to be running the 3rd session here in July. But the previous session, I was the only one that ever sort of role played. They're all sort of like,
oh man, role play is cool though.
I know, I love it. But I played a dwarven fighter, and I used javelins on top of what else did I use? I think I used a hammer. And there was like we're going through the dungeon and we're doing all this stuff, and it's a one shot, so it's kind of short. But the idea was we're supposed to go to this dungeon and get this relic, and it's sitting on a pedestal. And I'm like, that's obviously trapped, guys. So we got to figure something out. And they were like all debating it. It's like, you know what? I'm going to throw a spear at it. So I just threw my javelin, hit the object, knocked it off the pedestal. Yay, the day is won. Except I broke the ancient artifact.
Oh.
Now, granted, I was being smart because a giant boulder did fall down and crush the rest of the artifact.
Oh, okay.
That was a great moment. It was like, everyone was like, what did you do? And I was like, we'll just take it back to him. He won't know. Like, he doesn't know what it looks like.
See, when I played D&D, I played as a righteous paladin. I love paladins or righteous warriors or holy warriors. They're my favorite sort of classes to play in any sort of MMO or anything like that. And I wield a giant shield and a big one-handed hammer. And I was more of a tanky paladin, but my backstory basically made me really, 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 really hate undead. Because they like, again, it's kind of similar, like my town was attacked by a lich. Everyone got killed. You know, that sort of thing, you know, very bad. So undead was like kind of like my trigger word. I was very calm, but as soon as I heard undead, I was like, foam in the mouth sort of thing.
Yeah.
So my DM, we all came to this giant sort of like mode, and we were following a lich. And there was me, another paladin, a tiefling, a barbarian orc, and someone else. I can't remember what he was. And we came to this massive moat in front of us, and it was like, cool, I'm going to detect evil. Rolled as like, you know, or whatever. I think, I'm not sure if it's rolling or not, but he asked me to roll. I said, what do I know what's in there? Because is undead in there? He goes, yes, undead is in there. I said, guys, shall I play player smart or character smart? He goes, oh, you should really play character smart. I was like, huh. I run into the swamp. It's like, wait, what? So I run into the swamp screaming, like, you know, some righteous fury. I was screaming my god's name, and then the mist dissipated, and there was about 20 undead. And we were very low level at the time, by the way. We're at level, like, 1 or 2, and I was like an undead troll, a mage, some dog. Now it was just me surrounded by them. I was like, come at me! And I didn't die. Everyone pretty much around me died. I was so tanky. I was bouncing off me, and like 2 of them had to like roll death saving throws because the troll was like, ooh, a tasty tiefling. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
Slap the tiefling, and then like it was battered. And at the end, it was like after everyone found it, everyone kind of went, Rob, what the hell? And I was like, I was playing player smart or character smart. And so basically after that, there was like a written rule, was like, okay, right. Someone has to be with Robert all the time. If he sees an undead, you have to roll a strength check to hold him back.
That's great.
Yeah. It got a bit more hazy at the end, though. It was quite, oof, okay, we'll move on, though, because it gets pretty bad at the end.
Okay. I mean, it was... That's fun. That you know, the stories like that, you know,
that's what like D&D is very special.
Yeah. You know, like, I mean, that's you know, a lot of games in general. I mean, we all have like our favorite hunter stories too, right? I've talked about this a couple times where This was the original Monster Hunter on PlayStation 2. We were fighting a Rathian in. Do you remember? I think it's Area 4, the Forest and Hills. Basically, it's the one in Generations where they've sort of cut that piece, and you could now jump off of it.
I know what you're about. Yeah, it's kind of the one near before the nest.
Yeah, the one before the nest. Well, there's that ledge up there, and in my original playthrough of Monster Hunter 1, before again I lost that save, I started with heavy bowgun. I was a heavy bowgunner in my very first iteration of the game, and my friends are fighting Rathian below me, and I'm on the ledge, and I'm just firing away, hitting her, and I think it was, I don't remember the shots, but I think it was piercing. So I'm just like firing away, and then whenever she comes up to attack me, I just have to roll away and load and that kind of stuff. But there's a Vespoid buzzing around me up there.
Always spawns, yeah. I know what one you're on about.
Yeah, I'm standing on the lip of it, like very edge, and they're just fighting her down there, and she's sort of facing me. And I'm like, okay, I probably need to move, but I started loading. I was like, okay, I need to load up, and then I'll move, and it'll be fine. The Vespoid stings me. And as people know, Vespoids have a chance to paralyze you. I then went to my knees and fell off the ledge. And I'm falling off the ledge as Rathian tail flips me. And I clip against her tail to the arc of the top of the flip. And then I fall down, and I do the heavy land where you sort of land on your shoulders, and it takes you a few seconds to get up.
Yeah, you can get blit, and then you get blit, and then you flop up again, yeah.
Yeah, so this whole time, I've been severely damaged by this tail flip because I am a gutter.
Yep.
I am poisoned, and I am rolling, and my health is ticking away to the last second. I immediately flip to the potion, right? And I'm drinking the potion, and I die in the middle of the animation. And it was like literally. And the crazy thing is, it's just like when the cats heal you after you're dead. The animation of it happens as I fall down. And I'm like, it was the worst death I've ever had, but it's such a fun story.
Oh God, that's awful. So
it's like there's always that's I think that's what D&D brings out is there's a lot of stories like that because you sort of make your own game, so you get that
exactly, yeah.
But I mean, every game has those stories. So and Monster Hunter is another big reason why I like it is it's so dynamic that you can build those sort of stories. Yeah, so like that was I think we've got enough stuff here. I think it's been a great conversation.
Oh, definitely, man. It's been a lot of fun. Yeah. I know. A big props to you. The fact is, if no one knows, he literally got up at like 4:00 in the morning just so he could, record with me. And it's like, wow, that's pretty generous, man. The fact is, you got work at 5:00 in the morning, that sort of thing. But still, it's pretty good, man. So, hats off to you.
Well, thank you. I mean, I appreciate having people on people on.
Right.
Because I made this podcast for the community, right? It's a hunt. I used to say it's by hunters for hunters, right? And I want to involve as many people as possible, and that's why I ask everybody from the largest people to the smallest. I'm trying to talk to Yuri, and I'm trying to talk to, and I've brought several people on from Reddit, and I think next week we're going to try to go with someone a little more low profile. But because we've been doing a lot of high profile lately. So you, the Carve, we had NCH on last episode, NCH Productions, the cartoon guy. And we had the Carve on. And in between that, it was just Toaster and I, or at the time called Lobrin. He's doing a name change. So yeah, like I just enjoy having people on and getting to know people in the community and just talking to them. So I mean, it's been an honor having you on, honestly. I love it when people come on. So thank you a lot.
No, thank you for inviting me on, man. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It's been pretty good.
I don't mind getting up early. I hate sleep, so.
Sleep's annoying.
It is.
That'll be my one wish, man. If I could wish, like I could not sleep, but it wouldn't affect my body in any way, shape, or form.
Exactly.
Like looks or feeling. That's what I would wish for. But I could sleep if I wanted to.
Yes.
To pass the time.
No, you and I were on the same page. I feel like when I sleep, I've wasted time that I could have been grinding or something, or
No, I agree.
writing articles or something. So. Thank you, hunters, for joining us this early morning for me, and well, that's kind of early for you, SoHellkite.
It is 10:24 a.m. my time, so it is a huge difference between us. A 5-hour difference. So
yeah,
England, man, time zones suck.
Yeah, they do. So this is Fortuan. You can follow us at Hunters Hub Pod on Twitter, and you'll find this episode on SoundCloud, Google Drive, YouTube even. And then, sorry, stumbled on my words there. So where can we find you, SoHellkite?
Well, you can follow me mainly on YouTube. It's just YouTube, I know, at SoHellkite, and I do hunting videos, mainly Monster Hunter, mainly Monster Hunter, but I'm dabbling into other things like Dauntless and possibly other things when I get better internet, when my internet provider decides to pull his finger out and do things. And follow me on Twitter as well, like, again, SoHellkite, and that's pretty much it. I don't stream much because, well, bad upload speed.
Yeah. Well, we'll see you guys next quest.
Take it easy, guys.
That was fun.
It was good, yeah, I love this. No, it was really good. No, I mean, spuds are good, aren't they?
Yeah, they
I don't know.
We called them potatoes, like in Lord of the Rings. Potatoes.
Oh, potatoes. I get you. Potatoes. Mash them, boil them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
I love Lord of the Rings. It's so fun.
I've not watched Lord of the Rings in years. It's been a long time since I watched that. I need to actually sit down and watch a movie. We're watching too much Studio Ghibli lately.
Oh, that's nice. My wife loves it.
I love Studio Ghibli. It's probably one of my favorite sort of animation movies. So good.
I love Howl's Moving Castle.
My wife's favorite. My favorite is Cat Returns. I don't know why.
I've never seen that one.
It's amazing. It's done by some amazing voice actors. Essentially, it's like silly things like, this schoolgirl saves a cat.